Good morning, everyone. Okay, this is going to be my new YouTubes, which is kind of going to be my podcast, giving you all things that I do, but I wanted number one and all of them to be a little less produced than my podcast. So all the things that you love hearing from me. Here I am in my bedroom, by the way. Look at this. So this is how I wake up. So when everyone asks me what my sort of, I don't know, not mantra is, but I wake up in the morning, I stay in bed, I have my coffee. There's my lavender by the bed, biotin, the ashwagandha. Where's the ashwagandha? Probiotics, because I have not the best stomach. Oh, there you are. That's my husband's underwear in the background. And I sit here and I listen to that, which just gives me a completely different start to the day. Just ordered another cup of coffee and I'm talking to you. So I think one of the biggest questions I get asked all the time is how I stay so positive, how, I get a Sergio, how did I get divorced, all of these things. So I'm doing a lot on hair loss, I'm doing a lot, I've got teenage boys. You can ask me anything, and I think the best thing to do is, you can do it in the comments section and I'll get back to you on as much as I can. Oh, here comes my coffee, so that makes me happy. Yep, and there comes my very needy dog. Hello, Taz. So I think the most important thing for women is to make yourself happy first, right? You can't make anyone else happy if you're not happy. And I spent many years, not because of my ex-husband, but because of myself, unhappy because I wasn't in the right place. And I think clearly when you're not, and you're a little bit trapped, obviously, when you don't have kids or, you're not already involved in a very big business, it's a lot easier to move when you're young. And I think a lot of people, and that's what really amazes me about young people today, okay? I think relationships are harder to have. When back in the day when I was like a serial dater from like 6 years, 5 years, we had all these like very long relationships. And I kind of want to say to people, enjoy life because there's no rush. We were all in such a hurry to get married and to sort of, find the man and settle down. There's no hurry for that. Okay, we're living a lot longer. Take your time. Know who you are. I don't think women really find out who they are until they're, late 30s, early 40s. And that is why we are having such a revival. I mean, thank God for facelifts because it has just made us look the way we feel. And I know some of that you will be out there screaming at the camera going, can't all afford it. We can't have this. And, it shouldn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter how you look to the outside. Well, I mean, it probably does actually. It really does. Let's be honest. People do judge us, older women. They kind of put you on this pile of done. And now I can give my counterparts at like 30 something a fucking good run for their money. I'm starting my life again with my husband. And I've said it again, like, what are the pros to dating a young man? Life, again, like every day is special with him. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it might not bite me in the ass one day. But again, like any other relationship, most of my friends now are getting divorced because they've already been married 20 something years. Their kids are growing up and, they're now stuck with men that they have nothing in common with. And that's truly, and you know what, it was interesting because I used to watch like Instagram and all of these kind of things and see all these people like, and I know influencers and their husbands aren't completely real, all this snogging everywhere. Having said that, that is kind of what Sergio's like. But I used to think, and they were all on second marriages or taking their time. And I think you just choose your friend. I think when you're young, you're just in this giant hurry to prove everything to everyone that you're just not going to be left last on the pile. And again, that's not an awful thing to say because my ex-husband was the perfect husband for me back then. And I'd like to think that at the time I was the perfect wife for him. He may not think so now, that's for sure. But, actually, weirdly, we're getting better and better and better every day. So it's absolutely brilliant. And I can only see it getting better from here because the pain, the hurt, the anger, the questions have all gone. He's moved on. I've moved on. We're all good. And weirdly, I would say to most of you that sometimes, you want to get closure with your ex. You want to have the conversation. You want to but then do you really? What's it going to solve? Absolutely fucking nothing because you don't want to go back. So there's no point doing the blame game. And I have to say that's one thing from the moment we made the decision that we weren't going back together. We've asked each other the horrible questions or done that. We've fought over kids. We've fought over money. We've fought over children, fought over bringing them up. which is always the difficult part, I think, in divorce. Two households, I've done a podcast on this too, just saying, very difficult at the beginning when you have two homes and kids carry information back and forth and all of this. We've fought over all of that, but we have never sat down since the day it happened and had a conversation about why it happened or what happened. Because at the end of the day, there's no point, okay? Let's just say, for argument's sake, it's, you have broken up with your husband and you want to find out why he cheated on you, or you want to find out why he didn't love you anymore. Sitting down and getting it out of him will achieve what exactly, do you think, other than a lot more pain for you? I mean, maybe closure. Does it? Hearing it to your face? I don't know. I didn't hear it, or I didn't ask, and nor has he. I don't know is the question, because what I did know is that we weren't going back. So I think getting closure in that way and sitting and talking about what happened would only benefit someone that's going back to their relationship, and then you can move on from it. And by the way, I'm a big advocate for that too. Lots of people have done that, and if you can make that work, chapeau to you, because I don't know how you do that, because I think once you've crossed certain boundaries, there is no way back. And again, I don't think people love to lay blame, and I really think that I would love to say to people out there, don't. Very easy to judge other people's houses, and I've learned the more I do this podcast, the more women I speak to, I don't lay any blame on anyone. Like, we're all individuals, we're all trying to fit into societal constraints of what we've been told is the way we need to behave. You don't need to behave anyway. Okay, you do have to have empathy, you do have to show kindness, you do have to, not go around hurting people. But in general, you don't have to fit into, if something isn't working for you, you can leave at any stage. And I think that that's what we haven't been taught or told. There is no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as failure in business. There's no such thing as failure as in relationship, friendship, advice. Here in Dubai, I feel like a lot of people struggle with making friends and keeping friends because it's a transient city. Everyone's trying to get something for them. It reminds me of New York when I was living there in the, whatever it was, the 90s, I suppose, where everyone was just, it was so fast paced. It was the place to be. Everybody wanted to know each other. Everybody was looking for the person that could lift them. I feel like that is what Dubai is today, and no one is connecting on a deeper level, which is why I think having friends in Dubai that I've had since day one has been so important. And I've kind of said to my husband and I, we do know new friends. We're very insular now, and I was never been this insular. And if you told me I was going to be, I spent my first marriage and that was probably the beginning of the end too, always putting my friends first. And I wonder if that's the boarding school girl in me, looking back now, where your friends become your family. See, I was always more attached to my friends than I was my family. And that's a terrible thing to say out loud. I hope my parents aren't watching this. But, I love my family. But when you're in school, you spend 24 hours a day with friends, right? So when you're down, your friends come. When it was really hard to be in boarding school from that age. So I think your friends just become such a powerful part of your life. And they're there for the bit that normally, like Sergio's family are always there for the bits that he needs, right? So for Sergio, his entire life is just me and his mum and his dad and his sister. That's it. That's all he needs. And I'm learning that, okay, there is a fine, you don't need to be Sergio, but you don't need to be me. And I'm learning that the older we get, the less people around us we really need, because why are they all coming? It's different for me and Sergio as well, because we have such public lives now. Dubai is weirdly a very small town, and the more the show goes on and the more known you are, people want you for different things, right? We just don't go out anymore. We really don't go out. We've created this little haven just to give some peace and quiet, just because we don't get any. When we're working, we're always surrounded. And when we're here, we really like just to be us. And the thing is, Sergio, that is why it's so important to choose your best friend. And I never understood what that meant until now, because my ex and I were amazing partners, like good partners. We still are good partners, by the way, because we still own a home together. So we run it like a business, and we can talk about money and what we're going to do and whether we should invest in it or not very easily without any arguments. We make the decisions, all those decisions together, which is really nice. So he is a great partner. We're also getting to a stage where, okay, way. I mean, look, bringing up kids is not easy anyway. You know, when they're perfect, they're his, and when they're bad, they're mine, of course. And that's always going to be the way, and I don't think that changes whether you're divorced or married, to be honest. You know, my boys are in that teenage stage where they love to hate each other. That's just the way it is right now. They're deciding on schools, and any school far enough from each other is the school they want to go to. And you know, that I think children really do put a strain on your relationship, and distance, and friends, right? So if I'm honest, you know, like my ex-husband would go away on business trips, and he would come back, and I'd be out partying with the girls. That's just what I did. I think I had a very stressful, you know, time starting a business. I had a very stressful time. I had 3 children. You know, I wanted to feel like, you know, I don't know. I was on this rat race of wanting to feel completely like, I don't know, the Wolf of Wall Street, I suppose. And I just couldn't say no to anything. And so I never prioritized family time, you know, from going to parties, to coming home to do like Shabbat on a Friday. I was like, you know, and that's just, looking back, that was probably where I went wrong. You know, having said that, you know, I'm not going to ever beat myself up. I'm in a place now where I can recognize it, which is great, but I'll never beat myself up for my behavior, because my behavior led me to where I am today. And that's what's so magical, because I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And I have this really powerful story I remember with my girlfriend, and we were in a luxury hotel in the middle of nowhere. And this is just to say, people, doesn't matter where you're from, what state of life, we all feel the same way at some point. Lonely, you know, lost, you know, and that's, I think, was one of the big catalysts. It doesn't matter if just because she has a giant mansion she's sitting in, doesn't mean she doesn't have the same feelings that you have. And I think a lot of people always go, oh, you know, what do you know? You know, you've got everything. What do you know? You've got this, you know, and look at other people's lives. I mean, I think mental health and feeling low and lonely is universal. It's universal. I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter if you have 1 million diamond watches. You're not hugging them. You're not talking to them. And I think people forget that. So I was sitting in this hotel on New Year's Eve, watching the fireworks with tons of our friends around us, wishing I was somewhere else. And my girlfriend noticed it, and she said, "You're not where you're meant to be." And my hair stood on end. She was right. I wasn't where I was meant to be. I was trying to be something else that I'm not. And the person I am today, whether you like it more or not, is exactly who I'm meant to be. I am living, you know, okay, I act like a child sometimes. I can't see because I haven't got my glasses on. I hope I haven't got coffee around my mouth. Anyway, for you. I act like a child sometimes. And that's why Sergio is the perfect partner for me. Actually, I just watched this thing that Cher wrote. An older man would never want to be in the life I've created. And I've created with Sergio his dream life. This is Sergio's absolute dream life, my dream life. And we wake up getting closer and closer together because everything we're building is together. Whereas I think in my first marriage, we were building everything apart. He was building in another country. I was building in my office. We didn't have anything to talk about because we were both so tired when we got home. We didn't want to listen to the other one's whatever day. We both just wanted to get into bed and watch a movie, and probably a different movie than each other. And where Sergio and I go down, he's downstairs right now working in the office. And I think that's just, it's so healthy. And you know what you all guys all think about is, which, you know, what does Sergio do all day? He does fucking loads, let me tell you. But my point is, he does it with me together. And that's why we're becoming such a powerful, I understand what a power couple is now, by the way, but we're becoming such a powerful force together because we're on the same path. And I think no matter what that path looks like, when you're with your best friend and you're rooting for each other and you both want the same things for each other, we're not fighting each other, we're not in competition with each other, and we're building something together, it's really, really powerful. And that doesn't happen often. It really is a unicorn situation, because mostly women on second marriages, you'll meet a man that's older, he's already established, you know, you've got to fit into his life. And I would find that very, very, very hard. Number one, I have to travel all the time. Number two, I'm on national TV, so he's going to hate that. And that's 4 months of my life, right? Every year until it's not. And even when it's not, I'm touring, we're doing speeches, you know, Sergio's learned it all now, and he's doing it all, and he loves it because he's been through it, right? He's had extreme highs, and he's lost a lot, and he's suffered a lot in his life. And, I think we both feel that we were sent to each other for a much bigger purpose. And I feel like Sergio and I are a little bit of a beacon for people to show, forget the age gap. I know that some of you are sick of hearing it, although that is really what's helped us too, because we learned so much from each other. But it's also things like, the kindness, the empathy that man has at his age. I mean, I was just saying last night, I don't know where it comes from. There must be. We need some sort of shaman over here. There must be a little old man trapped in that body somewhere. There must. He's way too wise, way too kind. I've never met a 30-year-old that would rather stay home with his wife than go out and party with the boys ever. I don't understand. But, they do exist. And, I look at Sergio and I realize how he feels so grateful. And that's why, I always say, you have to buy my gratitude journal, buy a gratitude journal, any gratitude journal. If you want to buy mine, do. I'll put the link in there. But the point of a gratitude journal is not a magic wand, okay? It's just literally sometimes when you're having a dark day, and I was talking to my girlfriend about this, you just need to wake up and go, I'm grateful. Actually, this is what I do. Here it is. I leave that open so I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear the water, and I just listen to the sound, look at that, and I go, my God, I'm grateful. I am so grateful for the life I'm living today. And let me tell you, I have houses way bigger than this, but never filled like this. And this house has given us so much. It just gives us joy every day. And I listen to that, and how can I not be grateful for exactly where I am? So even if I lost that job, or, something's gone wrong, I can find 3 things, and I do it in the evening too. And I really think those moments of gratitude change your life. And also just looking at my husband, sometimes reevaluating and looking at what your husband, write down 3 things he does for you every day, or 3 feelings he brings out of you, and don't just say anger and annoyance. And I can do that too, and just writing it and reading it and being able to flip back and seeing how you felt on any given day really changes your life. So if I'm going to give you one hack from this, go buy your first gratitude journal. Mine are really easily available in America on bustthelabel.com, and it's just a little bit of fun, but I'm telling you, 2 minutes a day changes your life. It changes your life. That is one practice I want you guys to start. And then as I go on with these little chats and coffee mornings with you, and I'm just going to do it really naturally, you guys can also write what you want to hear from me and get to know me a little better. And I'm going to do ones on the hair, skin, my facelift, baby journey, which I'm still up in the air about, because that is the one downside to having a much younger man. My children are going off to college and my house is empty, and well, not empty, I've got 2 boys, but I'm at a different phase in my life. I just don't know if I want to go back there. I'm brutally honest. Is it worth losing Sergio? Who knows? Of course it's not. But what I mean is, would I lose him? I don't know. Really don't know. You can't tell, but you can never tell. And that's not to say that, by the way, bringing a baby into the mix wouldn't fuck up everything we've already done, because it's so peaceful now, and I don't think he really realizes what a baby is either. So anyone want to lend me a baby for a week, please drop him off with Sergio and let's see how he copes. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on these. I'm really excited to get to know my community more, tell you all about Bali, and anything that you want to hear really. So welcome to our coffee mornings.